Thoroughbred Week with John Henderson is presented by Acti-Statin, Adena Springs, Bloodstock Research, Breeders' Cup, Claiborne Farm, Dock Lanes Veterinary Pharmacy, Keeneland, Lanes End, Malone's, New York Thoroughbred Breeding and Development Fund, OCD Pellets, Old Colony Insurance Services, Pala Mountains, Pin Oak Stud, Quillen Leather and Tack, Ramard, Sally Horse Fans, and Shadwell Farm.
Hello everyone and welcome to Thoroughbred Week, featuring graded stakes action from Saratoga and Del Mar, including a repeat victory by the reigning horse of the year in the Grade 2 4-Star Dave Handicap. We begin at Ellis Park with the seasonal debut of Groupie Doll in the Grade 3 Gardenia Stakes. The champion female sprinter 1-5 in the wagering. Keith Nelson picks up the call.
As they go winging by the half-mile pole in the 32nd running of the Gardenia in 47 seconds flat. On the front end, no change. It's still Magic Hour, the leader. On the outside of that one is Devious Intent. The big mare is rolling now on the far outside. She's unencumbered, going 4 wide, and has the cover of Molly Morgan, who's now in dire straits. And Rajiv Mirage has not pressed the button yet, and she is just rolling in the 4 or 5 path. 3/4 in 1:10 and 2/5 seconds, and here they come in the Gardenia stretch run. On the front throughout Magic Hour, Devious Intent, and Groupie Doll has to get going and do better, and now she's called upon. She looks to be defeated on the inside. Magic Hour, outside Devious Intent, and a shocker here in the Gardenia.
15-1 Devious Intent outfinishes 26-1 Magic Hour by a neck, with Groupie Doll settling for third. Roberto Morales aboard the 2-time Keeneland Sales graduate in 1:34.4. A stakes winner at Delta Downs as a 3-year-old while trained by Brett Calhoun. Devious Intent moved to the barn of Kellen Gorder after she was purchased by TK Stables for $75,000 at Keeneland last November. She was last seen finishing second in the Saylorville Stakes at Prairie Meadows. The 4-year-old filly was bred in Kentucky by Robert and Kimberly Bain and originally sold for $45,000 at the Keeneland September yearling sale. Devious Intent has earned $276,000. American Produce Records is now available online. Visit brisnet.com/APR for unlimited access to the pedigrees of more than 3 million thoroughbreds for just $275 a year. To Del Mar for turf fillies and mares in the Grade 2 John C. Mabie Stakes. Tis Flirtatious, the 3-5 favorite. Trevor Denman has the call.
Field sent on their way in the John Mabie Stakes. All 5 came out smoothly. The long shot Journaliste sets straight off for the lead now. Journaliste clears them early, not in any hurry though. Customer Base is going to tuck in second, and then it's Lady of Shamrock on the inside by Gigi, and Tis Flirtatious quite content to trail early. There's only 5 lengths from first to last. Pastor stands first time round, and Journaliste is out in front on a tight hold. Customer Base pulling hard in second. They're virtually going a canter out here. On the outside, Lady of Shamrock now moves up to be second. In behind that comes My Gigi, and Tis Flirtatious getting a little closer. Only 3 lengths would cover them all. Absolute crawl out here. They're going any slower, they'd be trotting along. It is Journaliste in front, just over a length. Lady of Shamrock now cutting into that lead in second. Customer Base on a tight hold down at the rail. Tis Flirtatious races along fourth, just 3 lengths off the leader, and My Gigi's at the back. So there's no change, and they're still not in any hurry. They're obviously going to turn this one into a sprint a little later on. Now it is Journaliste kicking on just slightly, picks up the pace, leads it by 1.25 lengths. Lady of Shamrock tracks in second. Customer Base tucked in at the rail. Tis Flirtatious just loping along in fourth, 2.5 off the leader, and the trailer My Gigi. 3/8 of a mile to go now, and Journaliste is now sent for home. Journaliste, but Lady of Shamrock. Now here's Lady of Shamrock getting first run, but Tis Flirtatious wasting no time to come and take her on. Customer Base gets a dream run through at the rail. 3 of them line up, but Tis Flirtatious is absolutely powerhousing home in the center of the track. Confident look back from Julian Leperoux. It looks like Tis Flirtatious could go around again. She's absolutely annihilated them. Tis Flirtatious, super impressive.
Odds-on favorite Tis Flirtatious scores by 2.25 lengths over Lady of Shamrock. Julian Leperoux aboard in 1:51.3, including a sensational final 8th in 10 and change. Never off the board in 11 starts, Tis Flirtatious has been either first or second in her last 7 attempts on turf. Victorious in the Grade 2 Santa Ana Stakes in March, the Marty Jones trainee was second by only a head to Marketing Mix in the Grade 1 Gamely Stakes. The 6-year-old mare by Tiz Bud was bred in California by her owner, Pamela Zebarth. Tis Flirtatious has earned nearly $625,000. Tis Flirtatious paid $320 to win and is the Malone's favorite of the week, presented by Malone's, Lexington's favorite steakhouse. More racing coming up, but first here's the upcoming schedule in the Breeders' Cup Win and You're In Challenge Series. Welcome back to Thoroughbred Week with the Grade 2 La Jolla Handicap just ahead in this segment. 3-year-old stakes action is presented by BC2A Paste. Reduce the likelihood of tying up with BC2A Paste. We begin with the Grade 3 Monmouth Oaks. Shaneen Girl, the 7-5 favorite. Larry Comas has the call.
Into the far turn. And it is Michaela's Angel and Shaneen Girl, and they're a neck apart. And then comes Lucky Ragdoll, who set sail after the top two now. Lucky Ragdoll makes her move on the far turn, and here she comes, right to the outside of Shaneen Girl. The whip is out on Michaela's Angel, who's dropping back on the inside. Mr. Hall's Opus now moves up outside of Zenzara, but they're 6 lengths from the front. 3/4 win in 1:12 and 3. They're into the stretch, and it's still Shaneen Girl holding on to the lead with a furlong to run. Lucky Ragdoll is next. Mr. Hall's Opus is third. Shaneen Girl and Paco Lopez, and they're pouring it on as they come down to the wire. And Shaneen Girl finishes strong to win the Monmouth Oaks.
Favored Shaneen Girl draws off to defeat 14-1 long shot Mr. Hall's Opus by 6 lengths. Paco Lopez aboard in 144 flat. Shaneen Girl had been winless since taking the Grade 2 Goldenrod Stakes last November in her first start for trainer Bernie Flint. The filly by Spring at Last was bred in Kentucky by John Trimbulovic and was a $5,000 yearling. Shaneen Girl has earned $343,000. She's owned by Naveed Chauhan, who purchased the winner privately just prior to her victory in the Goldenrod. The best performance of the week, presented by Best PC Service. Contact Best PC Service for a free business consultation. To Del Mar for the Grade 2 La Jolla Handicap. Freakin' Rocket, the 5-2 favorite. Trevor Denman has the call.
3/4 of a mile to go, and Rose and Gold winging out here. No turning back for Rose and Gold. Rose and Gold now opens up 3.5 lengths. Den's Legacy tracks from second. Freakin' Rocket is a comfortable third. In behind that, Uno Dos Adios. Up alongside comes Pure Loyalty. Sea Sage in the red colours is 8 lengths off the leader. Another 2 back to Dry Summer. Then we come back to Dice Flavor, who's racing second last, and last by a long ways, Greeley Awesome. Strung out over a lot of ground as they go into the turn in the La Jolla. Rose and Gold bounds on for home. Rose and Gold by 3 lengths. Den's Legacy's in second. Freakin' Rocket now. Here comes Freakin' Rocket closing in from third. In behind them comes Uno Dos Adios. Pure Loyalty is on the far side. Starting a late run now is Dry Summer. Top of the lane now, and Den's Legacy gets the lead. Rose and Gold is gone. Freakin' Rocket coming home gamely in the black cap on the extreme outside. Pure Loyalty's right there too. Uno Dos Adios. A late run from Dice Flavor. What a stretch running the La Jolla. Anyone can win it. Dice Flavor on the outside. Dice Flavor to get up. Dice Flavor has got up to win the La Jolla from Den's Legacy.
Dice Flavor rallies to defeat Den's Legacy by half a length for a 1-2 finish by Keeneland Sales graduates. Garrett Gomez gets his first victory after missing nearly a month while dealing with alcohol-related issues. Time of the race, 1:39.4. Dice Flavor records his first victory since taking the Grade 2 El Camino Real Derby in February. The Patrick Gallagher trainee was coming off a third-place finish in the Grade 2 Swap Stakes. The colt by Scat Daddy was bred in Kentucky by Paget Bloodstock, Nearctic Bloodstock, and Carhew Investments. An $80,000 Keeneland September yearling and a $100,000 Barrett's May 2-year-old, Dice Flavor has earned nearly $275,000 for Odo Racing Stable and U.S. Equine. The Lanes End Stallion of the week is the stunning Union Rags, a Grade 1 winner at 2 and winner of the Belmont Stakes at 3. Beautifully bred, Union Rags won 4 graded stakes and earned almost $1.8 million. In his first year at stud, he bred 137 mares with 92% fertility. Welcome back to Thoroughbred Week with 2-year-old stakes action from Saratoga coming up in this segment. We begin with juvenile fillies at Del Mar and the Grade 2 Sorrento Stakes. Stop Smiling, the even money favorite. Once again, here's Trevor Denman.
Past the 3/8 they go, and side letters under pressure now. Here comes She's a Tiger, and She's a Tiger strikes the front at the top of the lane. Now here comes Stop Smiling in the white cap to take her on. She's a Tiger. Conclave joins the issue. E equals MC squared on the outside, running a big one too. They are homeward bound, and She's a Tiger the leader. Conclave setting her every yard of the way. She's a Tiger digging deep on the inside, but Concave is going the better of the two with a 16th to go. Concave strikes the front. Concave a neck in front. Concave and Mario Gutierrez have won the Sorrento.
3-1 second choice Concave outfinishes She's a Tiger by half a length. Mario Gutierrez aboard the 2-time Keeneland Sales graduate in 1:17-2. The connections of Kentucky Derby winner all have another. Gutierrez, trainer Doug O'Neill, and owner J. Paul Redham teaming up for this victory. Concave stepping up to Graded Stakes Company after a first-out maiden win at Hollywood Park. The filly by Colonel John was bred in Ontario by Windways Farm. It was a $90,000 Keeneland January yearling. Redham Racing purchased the winner for $160,000 at the OBS March 2-year-old sale. Concave has earned $179,000. The filly was consigned by Vinery Sales to the 2012 Keeneland September yearling sale, where she was purchased by Nick DeMerick for $75,000. Grade 2 Sorrento Stakes winner Concave, the Keeneland Sales graduate of the week. To Woodbine for the Ontario Debutante Stakes. Conquest Whiplash, the 3-5 favorite. Dan Loisel picks up the call.
Conquest Whiplash, that opening quarter was 23 flat. Skylander Girl camped at her flank in second. The Victoria winner, Conquest Whiplash by a half a length. The My Dear winner, Skylander Girl. Glued to her on the outside. A break of 3 to Madly Truly. From off the pace, Questera and at the rail is Sweet Southern Dame, and they turn for home off a half in 46. And Skylander Girl is on the attack. It's her, and Conquest Whiplash is backed off. And it's Skylander Girl in front in the final furlong. On the outside is Madly Truly, and at the rail, Sweet Southern Dame. Skylander Girl to win the Ontario Debutante.
After putting away the odds-on favorite, 2-1 second choice Skylander Girl by Claiborne Farm Stallion Stroll draws off to defeat Sweet Southern Dame by 2.5 lengths. Jim McElhaney, the winning jockey, in 1:11 flat. Skylander Girl broke her maiden in the My Dear Stakes in her second start, but she finished 4th as the favorite in her latest, the restricted Shady Well Stakes. The winner was bred in Ontario by Acamore Farm. It was a $3,500 yearling. Owner and trainer Alexander Patkowicz acquired her privately after she finished a close second in her debut. Skylander Girl has earned nearly $210,000. To Saratoga for the Grade 2 Adirondack Stakes. Kentucky shipper 50 Shades of Gold, the odds-on favorite at 35 cents on the dollar. Tom Durkin has the call.
They whipped through the opening quarter mile in 21 3/5 seconds around the far turn. Who's in town? In a serious altercation here with Hop the Six. Those two going at each other. Full out. Far outside Designer Legs. And in behind a wall of 3 is the big favorite 50 Shades of Gold. Will there be room for her at the rail? Very, very tight for 50 Shades of Gold. Couldn't get through. Who's in town? The leader. 50 Shades of Gold. Now there's some room for her. On the outside, Designer Legs. In the final furlong now. It is Who's in Town narrowly. On the outside, Designer Legs, and 50 Shades of Gold checked out of there. Down to the line, a head-bobbing finish between Who's in Town and on the outside, Designer Legs, Who's in Town and Austral.
It was Who's in Town first under the wire by a neck over Designer Legs, but for angling in when Joel Rosario yanked on the left rein and forcing odds-on favorite 50 Shades of Gold to check sharply, Who's in Town was disqualified to 4th by the stewards. 16-1 Designer Legs and Sean Bridgemont awarded the victory, with Thank You Mary Lou put up to second and 50 Shades of Gold elevated to third. Time of the race 1:16.2. Designer Legs making her debut for trainer Dallas Stewart after winning her first 2 starts for Gary Shearer, including the Prairie Gold Lassie Stakes. The Louisiana-bred filly by Graham Hall was a $10,000 yearling. Designer Legs has earned $190,000 for Valine Farms. Saratoga Stakes action is presented by Warrendale Sales. Be sure to stop by the Warrendale consignment at the Keeneland September and November sales to find your next graded stakes winner or stakes producer. Next, the Grade 2 Saratoga Special. Candy Dandy, the even money favorite. Once again, here's Tom Durkin.
And they're off. Corfu breaking sharply. And Wired Brian is right there too, and those two hook up in the opening 100 yards here. Candy Dandy runs into third. Dances on the outside of Twang, who's in between horses. 2 lengths back to Lunar Warfare, and Ogremeister is the trailer. Corfu, the leader down the backstretch, and his gray shadow is Wired Brian. Just in behind them, it's Candy Dandy at the rail. A sizzling opening quarter, 21 3/5 seconds. Corfu with blazing speed around the far turn. Now opens up 2.5 lengths here. Wired Brian is on the chase. Second, Candy Dandy third to the inside. Twang's about 5 lengths from the lead. Lunar Warfare, Danzer, and Ogremeister. They're coming to the top of the stretch. It's still Corfu. A half mile in a bruising 44 seconds flat. Corfu's in front. Wired Brian right next to him with 3/16 to go. 3 lengths back. Candy Dandy third. On the far outside, Lunar Warfare. Danza at the rail. Corfu is still hanging in there. Wired Brian with a final lunge as they come down to the finish. Danza third. Can Corfu hold on? It appeared he did. Very, very close at the end.
And let's take another look at that photo finish. It's Corfu trying to wire the field on the inside under 118 pounds in John Velasquez. Wired Brian is closing rapidly, toting 122 pounds in Sean Bridgemahan. But Corfu holds on to take the photo by a nose. Danza rallies along the rail to finish third. The 5th winner on the card for Velasquez, stakes record time of 1:15.2. The 4th winner last Sunday for Todd Pletcher and his first victory in the Saratoga Special. Corfu was a sharp maiden winner on debut at the Spa. The colt by Malibu Moon was bred in Kentucky by AGS Thoroughbreds Limited and was a $185,000 yearling. The $675,000 sales topper at the Barrett's May 2-year-old sale, Corfu has earned $168,000 for Michael Tabor, John Magner, and Derek Smith.
Thoroughbred Week is presented by Remard's Total line of equine products featuring total joint care, the complete joint product with hyaluronic acid. For more information, please log on to remardinc.com.
Time now for the feature race of the week presented by Keeneland, investing in racing's future since 1936. To Saratoga for the Grade 2 4-Star Dave Handicap, featuring last year's winner Wise Dan. The 2012 Horse of the Year sent off as the 2-5 favorite while conceding 12 to 14 pounds to his rivals. Here's the call by Tom Durkin.
And they're off. Skyring is sent after the lead, but King Creasa's got the best speed. Wise Dan in behind at the rail. Making their way for the first turn, and King Creasa quickly establishes the front running position. Out there by 2 lengths. And Skyring tips to the outside as they move into the turn. And that gives Wise Dan a perfect early spot early on, saving ground, and down inside rail, racing in third position. Right alongside him is Leah running along in fourth, then a break of 3 to Willie Conquer and Mr. Commons at the back of the pack. So they turn into the backstretch. The expected front runner is out there. It is King Creasa, the leader by a length. Skyring runs along in second. And then Wise Dan with the Hall of Fame partner, Johnny Velasquez, third down toward the inside. He's under a light hold. And it's Leah running along in fourth, a break of 5 to Willie Conquer, and Mr. Commons trails the field. The opening quarter went in 24 1/5 seconds, the half up in 47 2. The pace is reasonable enough. The leader remains King Creasa into the far turn. Wise Dan is pinned down inside 2 horses. Leah, who's moving on the outside. Leah now moves out to be second. Wise Dan is third, down toward the rail. Now he comes off the inside for a clear shot at the lead. And now the field turns for home. King Creesa in front, and looming in behind is a horse of the year, and he's getting closer with 1 furlong to go. King Creesa clinging to that lead by a half length. On neck, now they're on even terms, and now it is Wise Dan who's taken the lead. Wise Dan in front and pulling away as they come down to the finish. The heart of a champion on the wire by a length, Wise Dan and Johnny Velasquez.
Toting 129 pounds, the highest impost of his career, Wise Dan continues his winning streak by a length and a quarter over King Creesa. And the time of 134 flat is just 3/5 off the course record and is a 110 brisk speed rating. The reigning horse of the year began his current 8-race winning streak in this race last year. And the Charlesville Prestige trainee is the first repeat winner since the race's namesake won consecutive runnings in 1990 and 91. The 6-year-old gelding by Wiseman's Ferry was bred in Kentucky by Morton Fink and is a half-brother to Successful Dan, runner-up in the Grade 1 Whitney Handicap a week earlier. Wise Dan has won 17 of 24 starts and has banked $4,464,000. John Velasquez with the Safe Ride of the Week, presented by Sally Horse Fans, the safest way to the winner's circle. We'll see you next week here on Thoroughbred Week.
Thoroughbred Week with John Henderson has been presented by Actistatin, Adena Springs, Bloodstock Research, Breeders' Cup, Claiborne Farm, Dock Lanes Veterinary Pharmacy, Keeneland, Lanes End, Malone's, New York Thoroughbred Breeding and Development Fund, OCD Pellets, Old Colony Insurance Services, Pala Mountains, Pin Oak Stud, Quillen Leather and Tack, Ramard, Sally Horse Vans, and Shadwell Farm. Online at tbredweek.com.